Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bobby, and this is Tales from the Dollar Box.
Get down! I'm calling us that! We are Venom now! You're still part of the team. You're still one of the X-Men. You'll have to do better than that, Wildcat. Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out for the first episode of Tales from the Dollar Box. Had a great time this past Saturday at the Time Tunnel Comic Con 2024, hosted by Time Tunnel Comics and Second Time Around Comics and More, my local comic shops here in Hickory, North Carolina. Both of them are run by Jacob and Erica, and great people, just friends of mine for a really long time. So they had a lot of people out at the Highland Rec Community Center for this, and yeah, lots of vendors, lots of people, and luckily for us, lots of dollar books. I picked up 90 books, and yeah, a lot of books, a lot of good stuff there. Really stoked to talk with you guys about it today. I'm really stoked to talk to you guys about the first comics that I picked up. The first comics are the ones that are brought to me and you and all of us by our sponsors. We had some great sponsors, and the first sponsor was Alan Hamby of Ghoulish Vibes. So the way Alan did it was he donated $5 toward the show, and then he also gave me 2 comics toward the show. So first off, the 2 comics he gave me, pretty cool. Dragon Slayer #1, based on the movie, is the Marvel Comics. So really stoked for that. Next, he gave me Elf Warrior #1 from, I don't even know who put this out. I don't even know. But Elf Warrior #1, it looks like a Zelda. Looks kind of like Zelda or Link or whatever. Like an 80s D&D adventure style book. So it looks pretty cool. So thanks, dude. I appreciate that. With the $5 that he put toward all the comics, these are the ones I got. And I think he's going to dig it because he loves horror. And he runs Ghoulish Vibes and sells horror stuff and all that. So what I found with the money he donated toward the show was, in the 90s, Clive Barker was propositioned and asked to make superheroes. He released 4, never released the other ones. But the 4 he released, we found. We got Saint Sinner. We got Ecto Kid. Hyperkind. And Hokum and Hex. Not only are they all super 90s, all of them from the mind of Clive Barker, but they all are gimmick covers. They're shiny, embossed looking covers. So not only did we grab that, but the cherry on top was a first look or first cut at Razorline Comics from Clive Barker. So this was the preview comic put out before these were released. So yeah, whole set, there it is. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you, buddy. Next up, we had Jeff Jamerson, my good buddy that loves comics as much as I do. I think he even said he was going to look for dollar boxes the day that I was going to look for dollar boxes. So, Jeff, if you see this, please let me know what you found, man. The books that I got with his sponsor, he sponsored 2 books. First off, I got the quintessential 90s dollar box comic, Nikki Doyle Wild Thing. So, Nikki Doyle is the alternate universe granddaughter of Wolverine, and this is her first appearance. This was released via the Marvel UK, so maybe it was big over there. I don't know. I think they threw Venom and Carnage on the front just to kind of get people to buy the book. But yeah, it's kind of like an embossed gimmick cover as well. So thank you for that one. Next, we got quintessential Image from the 90s. I don't know how good you guys can see that, but it's Deathblow #1, embossed cover, and then you have like light gray Image here that's really fades into the black, so I don't know if you can see that too well. But quintessential Image, gotta get an Image. And here it is, Deathblow. So thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you sponsoring those 2 books, man. Next, we have my buddy Dom Kakaro. Dom Kakaro sponsored Super Soldiers #1, another Marvel UK comic. So this guy's basically like a mix between Captain America and the look of Cable, and he is going to fight U.S. Agent in this comic. But it's a Marvel UK comic, #1, embossed cover. So thank you, Dom. Next, we got Christopher Correct, who sponsored 5 comics. The 5 comics that we picked out were some pretty cool ones. I got some filler run for X-Men 2099. I got issue 2, issue 10 of 2099 X-Men, and issue 12 of 2099 X-Men. And the last two from Christopher Correct, some really cool gimmick covers. We've got 90s Guardians of the Galaxy number 25 with that shiny, no embossed, just shiny cover with Galactus right there on the front. And Guardians of the Galaxy number 50 with another shiny cover, if you can tell. There we go. Really cool 90s Guardians of the Galaxy, really cool covers. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you. We also have Ivan Beza. Ivan Beza is the owner of Low Budget Bootleg Toys, and he sponsored 5. More 2099. We got Spider-Man 2099 number 10. We've got Spider-Man 2099 number 7. And Spider-Man 2099 number 4. That's pretty cool. I like the cover on that. The other one I got, a really neat one, Toys R Us limited edition X-Men number 1. So this isn't the X-Men comic number 1. This is a different kind of like little side story that's created for this. And it was a Toys R Us promotional giveaway. So, I mean, it's hard to find stuff more 90s than Toys R Us and X-Men. And this collaboration between them was pretty neat. It's also apparently the first battle of Deadpool and the X-Men in this little comic. So, really cool little comic. A little piece of 90s history. And the last comic from Mr. Ivan Beza was a classic gimmick cover. This is, when I think about gimmick covers, I think of this and a lot of other ones. This is one of them. This was the Fatal Attractions line that all had holographic like cards right there. I'm trying to angle it so you can see. So this one had Havoc. Really cool. X-Factor 92. Also the first appearance of Exodus. So thank you, Ivan. Appreciate your support, man. And the last one we've got is from my buddy Hugh Gagney. Hugh Gagney donated and supported and sponsored 5 comics. He actually said good luck finding some Sleepwalker, so I found some Sleepwalker for my run I'm trying to complete. Sleepwalker number 6. Really cool looking cover of Spider-Man. Sleepwalker number 5. Sleepwalker number 4. And Sleepwalker 3. I'm getting really close to finishing my Sleepwalker run. The last one that I got from Hugh was a really cool another 90s gimmick cover. Nova number 1. With a really cool like gold like border, and I don't think it's embossed. No embossed, but gold lettering and gold details. Really, really cool Nova number 1 gold. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Couldn't have did it without you guys. Thanks to everybody that supported and sponsored this week. We had a lot of fun grabbing these. So yeah, now that we've shouted out all the sponsors, we're going to dig into the rest. I'll try to run through the filler pretty quick and then show you the really neat ones. And then we'll head over to Collector's Corner and talk to Ivan Beza about why he likes dollar comics. And then we'll do a giveaway. So let's jump straight into the comics. So this past Saturday at Time Tunnel Comic Con 2024, there were so many dollar boxes and they were packed with good stuff. We'll jump straight into it. I got more X-Men 2099 filler. I got X-Men 2099 13, number 7, and number 15. I also got a good stack of X-Force, and I'll run through them quick, only talking about the notable stuff. We got X-Men X-Force 39, 36, 35, 34, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Special about number 26 is the first appearance of Rainfire, which is an evil genetic counterpart of Sunspot. Another one of the cool gimmick covers, we found X-Force 25. And this one, let's see the angle, it has a hologram there. Oh, this is tough. There we go. Alright. There we go. So this one has Cable, and it looks really cool. So really neat. Cover there. X-Force number 13. X-Force 22. X-Force 21. X-Force 20. X-Force 19, which is the first appearance of Copycat in her true form as Vanessa. X-Force 14, X-Force 12, which is the first appearance of Cruel and External, sometimes spelled with a C, sometimes with a K. X-Force Annual 3, X-Force Annual 2, which is the first appearance of Mutant Adam X. And the last X-Force, I believe, is X-Force Annual 1 with a really cool Shatterstar cover there. So, great stack of X-Force to fill out some more of the run. I'm going for the first 50 of X-Force if I can. While I was there, I grabbed Cable, some of his solo series. So you got Cable 2, Cable 3, Cable 8, Cable 15, Cable 14, Cable 13, Cable 12, Cable 11, and my favorite Cable from today, Cable 9, which has a really cool Omega Red versus Cable image. I love Omega Red, one of my favorite villains. His design is just so cool to me. The last little bit of filler I got was for some X Factors. So we've got X Factor 86, which is part of the Executioner song, which I'm trying to grab. We've got X Factor 85, which is part of the Executioner song. We've got X Factor 41, X Factor 43, really cool cover there with Archangel, and you've got old school Cyclops and Beast. You got X Factor 45, and the cool X Factor pickup, which is the second print, the gold background second print of X Factor. It's the first new team appearance of X Factor, which is Havoc, Madrix, Polaris, Strong Guy, and Wolfsbane. So really cool. Strong Guy was a staple of the 90s if you were in 90s comics. Funny thing about Strong Guy is I heard a story about the name and how they came up with it. So apparently they were having internal struggles with what to name this guy. One person just said, let's just call him the Strong Guy. And they called him the Strong Guy. So, Strong Guy. So that was all the X Factor stuff that I found for fills. Now, the really, really, really fun stuff. All these, which is like unique. They're not fillers. They're just neat stuff that I found. We're going to start off with the first one, which is Crystar the Crystal Warrior, the saga of Crystar. It's a Marvel comic, #1. The artwork is incredible. I don't know who Crystar is, but it's #1. It's his first appearance, first team appearance of the Galactic Royal Guard, and first appearance of Ogeode, who became Ogeode the Cat Beast. I don't know who that is. I got this because of the artwork, and baby, it looks good. Next, I got the Destroyer #1. Have no idea what it was. It looked like a cool little cover on the front. Apparently, there's a movie called Remo Williams, and this is part of it. This is really cool. I found Gambit 104 limited series #1. Only thing cooler than Gambit in the 90s, I don't know. Everybody loves Gambit. But the only thing cooler than finding #1 was finding all 4. So I got all 4 issues, the entire run of Gambit, one of the most popular 90s characters and most popular X-Men of all time. All 4 in the dollar box. Really cool. Next up, funny story about this. So me and Jacob of Time Tunnel Comics are talking at the con about this character called the Badger, who was a superhero. We were just joking. And right after, I find the Badger in a dollar box. So then I have to buy it. So that's first appearance of the Badger. Capital Comics, don't think anything will ever come of this, but it was just fate. I had to grab it after that. This next book I got, Valkyrie and Thor. This is a pretty big character now. People really know her. Back in the 90s, she looked a lot different. This is Valkyrie in her first solo series, Valkyrie #1. Grabbed it just because of how big the character's getting. This might be kind of a cool book for people. Next book I found is Avengers 363, and it's quintessential gimmick comic. I remember seeing this on the shelf when I was a kid and being like, I gotta have it just because of what it looks like. Not only is it embossed, but it's also all silver. It has Captain America right there on the front. Avengers 363, quintessential 90s gimmick comic. Next, we've got Topps Comic Preview #1. Topps was awesome when I was a kid. They would put out Bram Stoker's Dracula, Jason Goes to Hell, Jurassic Park, stuff like that in comic form, along with stuff like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Mars Attacks, that kind of thing. This book is a preview of the issues they were going to be putting out. So, haven't looked in it yet, but I can only imagine what all's in here. I can't wait to see it. Next, another quintessential gimmick comic of the 90s. I remember seeing this one. We've got Night Watch #1 with his silvery, shiny cover. And this is the first solo title featuring Nightwish #1. Or Nightwish. Night Watch #1. Not the band. Spider-Man 16, which I grabbed because it has X-Force. It's a side issue, which means the whole issue flips like this, art and everything. But what's cool about Spider-Man 16, other than the X-Force, is final issue written and illustrated by Todd McFarlane for Marvel Comics. The last Todd McFarlane cover or illustration and story. So, legend in the industry. Grabbed it because of that. Great artwork. Next, we've got X-Men 282. This is the first appearance of Bishop in the dollar box. Is the second printing, hence the gold cover. But it's the first cover and cameo app of Bishop. First cameo team app of Xavier Security Forces, which is Bishop, Malcolm, and Randall. Bishop is one of the best characters of the 90s, in my opinion. Whether it's a second printing or a first printing or what, I'm going to grab it every time, especially when it's in a dollar box. Next is a really cool one. Nightcrawler #1. Fabulous first issue of his #1 in a 4-issue limited series. Nightcrawler is another one of those mega popular X-Men characters. People just love Nightcrawler, including myself, so I had to grab that. Next, Sectors #1, which is the first appearance of Sectors in a full standard size comic. Before this, they had only been shown in the mini comics that came with the toys. The toys dropped a little bit before my time, but I got lots of hand-me-downs of Sectors as I grew up, and had to grab that. Really cool looking book. Next, Black Dragon #1. I don't know what this is. It's a Marvel #1 in a 6-issue limited series. The artwork just looks so cool. I grabbed it. Next, something I didn't even know existed. Star Trek and the X-Men. It's a Marvel Paramount comic. And I wonder what other comics Marvel and Paramount made, if any, because I'd be curious. It's got X-Men, it's got Spot, Captain Kirk, Cyclops. Pretty cool for a dollar find. Next, North Star #1. I really like North Star. He's somebody that I've recently kind of discovered and got into him. And defined as #1 of 4 limited series. Pretty cool. I want to read this. Next, Wonder Man #1. So what's cool about this is it's his first ongoing solo series for Wonder Man in Hollywood. It's also the first appearance of Neil Soroyan, if I'm saying that right, which is Wonder Man's agent. What's cool about this is, if they're still doing it, and it hasn't got canceled, they are doing a Wonder Man TV series, and it's supposed to follow this, and the rumor is that Wonder Man's agent will appear, which this is his first appearance. So, could be cool. Next, Venom Lethal Protector #2. It's the first team appearance of the Jury and first full appearance of General Orwell Taylor. The rumor is General Orwell Taylor shows up in Venom 3, and secondly, it's Venom. I mean, people love Venom. If you see Venom books in a dollar box, 9 times out of 10, grab them. It's going to be worth something. Next, Moon Knight #1, Fist of Khonshu. Very surprising find, as it's the debut of a new Moon Knight costume and his powers. So, really neat to find this. I thought Moon Knight would blow up bigger than he has. I still think it's coming. And, he got kind of big when he did the show on Disney+. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, really neat to find this, especially in a dollar box. Next, Marvel Universe Onslaught. So I don't know exactly what this is. I know that Onslaught as a villain came out when I was starting to get out of comics. So I want to read more about Onslaught. So when I seen this, I thought, maybe this happens. Something happens in here that I know. Or I'll want to read. So I grabbed that. Quintessential 90s. But really the reason I bought it is because on the back, there's another book in this. And it was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire Special. I grew up on Nintendo 64, man, and I love the Shadows of the Empire. So I thought, not only did I want this book, but this too, and $1, I'll take it. 2 for 1. Buy one, get one. Next, we've got Sabretooth Classic, which I believe is his second, I don't want to say solo series, but his second, headlining series. Pretty cool. First spectacular issue. I prefer the art, especially on the first series he did, but looking forward to getting to this because I do like Sabretooth. Next, gimmick cover, Shiny, of Bishop, who I mentioned earlier, got his first appearance. This is the first solo series featuring Bishop, and the first appearance of villain Mountjoy. So really cool. Bishop #1, great piece of the 90s, and a gimmick cover. Next, another gimmick cover. It's hard to get more 90s than Darkhawk, am I right? I think this is the final issue, which is number 25. It's shiny red, like foil. It's also the origin of Darkhawk and the debut of a new Darkhawk suit. So, if we're going to talk 90s and gimmick, this covers both bases. And the last book that I got, book number 90. Ghost Rider and Blade, Spirits of Vengeance #1. It's part of the Rise of the Midnight Suns, part 2 of 6, which I'm going to collect. Plus, it's a #1, and it's a cool Ghost Rider cover, so pretty stoked I've got that. That's a good one. So, yeah, we got 90 books. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. But if I'm going to pick my top 3, it's tough. But I'm probably going to go with Avengers 363. Because it's such a quintessential, and I can remember memories of seeing this book on the shelf. So 363, The Saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior, which I don't know what it is, but that artwork is just too good. It had to be #2 on my top 3 finds of the day. And then if I'm picking my third one, I'm probably going to have to go with Nightcrawler #1. Just because Nightcrawler is so cool. I love Nightcrawler as a kid. He was one of those popular characters. And to find #1 of a 4-part series in a dollar box was quite the surprise. I love it. I hope I find 2, 3, and 4. So, yeah, definitely my 3 favorites of the day for this past Saturday. Pretty cool stuff. Let's head on over to the Collector's Corner and talk to Ivan Beza, the owner of Low Budget Bootleg Toys. Let's see what he thinks about dollar boxes.
Hi, I'm Ivan from Low Budget Toys and Collectibles, and I love digging through $1 comic boxes. One of my favorite things that I've ever picked up from one of the dollar boxes was X-Men #4. This is a great issue, mainly because it is the first appearance of Omega Red. Yeah, and you can't ever go wrong with some awesome Jim Lee artwork. Good stuff right there. One of the titles that I always see in dollar boxes that some people sleep on a lot are definitely any of the Marvel 2099 series. Obviously, you know, we got Spider-Man 2099 from there, you know, very key stuff right there. We have Doom 2099, really good stuff, and so forth. Got Punisher and Ghost Rider. That whole series is really great, and I really think a lot of the later issues were slept on. So definitely recommend checking them out. You know, it's a very nice glimpse into the future of the Marvel Universe, or at least as it was imagined in the 90s. What is my favorite thing about comic boxes? For me, it's the variety. You can just, you know, dig up. You never know what you're going to find in there. There was a lot of good independent slept-on series back in those days. You know, whether it's stuff either from Malibu Comics, Eternity Comics, a lot of the lesser-known companies, not just necessarily DC, Marvel. You know, there's also a lot of great titles from Image, titles that are not Spawn or the Max or the more known titles that, you know, you can just find in there, dig them. Once again, you know, you got great stories, great art that is kind of forgotten. So it's really nice when you know, you're just digging through those boxes and you find an absolute gem in there. Or, you know, you might even find a new series, you know. My favorite gimmick comic from the 90s has to be Evil Ernie Straight to Hell #1. It's had such a great fold-out coffin cover. Show you right now, which I always thought was great. You know, it just looks really clean. It's really cool, you know. Evil Ernie, of course, is one of my main PCs for 90s comics. Always looking for Chaos Comics. This one here is absolutely great, story-wise, art-wise, and just that fold-out coffin cover is just, it's great, you know, definitely. My absolute favorite 90s comic has to be The Amazing Spider-Man. Just, I know more people gravitate towards the McFarlane era of Spider-Man, and don't get me wrong, those are great, but there was something just about the art and the way Spidey was drawn during this era. As you can see, you know, fantastic. This one here is Amazing Spider-Man 361, which is the first full appearance of Carnage. You know, really great issue. I've actually had this since I was a kid. I remember buying it at the Circle K for $1.25. And here it is, you know, 30-something plus years later, still in my collection. It's not in the best of condition, but you know what? I love it, and it's my absolute favorite. Thank you for having me on your show, Bobby. I really appreciate it. I look forward to all the new episodes coming out. I really love the concept as a lover of 90s comic books. I can't wait to see your hauls, everything. So if you haven't, give this man a follow. And if you can, make sure you check out low budget toys and collectibles on eBay, Etsy, and Instagram.
Hey, Ivan, thanks so much for being this week's Collector of the Week. Make sure to stay tuned to every episode to find that week's collector and hear what got them into comics or what their favorite comic is or why they enjoy dollar boxes. Alright guys, that's a wrap for the first episode of Tales from the Dollar Box. Hope you guys enjoyed our finds. I can't wait to get out there and dig some more for you guys. Please leave comments, concerns, thoughts, suggestions, any input about the books we found. I can't wait to get a conversation with you guys started about these cool comics. But before we leave, we've got a giveaway. So this week, I tried to think what would be the cool first one, and I thought this one would be perfect. This one encapsulates a very popular 90s character, and it was just too cool, and I wanted to share it. So the giveaway for this week is going to be the entire Gambit 1 through 4 limited series I found. It's going to be really cool. I think you guys will dig it. So the winner this week will get all 4 of the entire Gambit 90s limited series. All you have to do is leave a comment. That's it. You leave a comment, you're entered. This can be for YouTube or Facebook. I'll take all of them, put them together, and we'll pick a winner, and it'll be announced April 1st, and you will get these comments emailed. Yeah, I'm not going to email. I'm going to ship them to you. So as long as you're in the U.S., this is open to the United States. You comment on YouTube or Facebook, and I will ship these to you if you win. So please leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for the first episode of Tales from the Dollar Box. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next episode. Make sure to stay tuned for how you can help sponsor the next episode. See you guys next time.